the Wise Owl Knits Fibercast. I'm your host, Cheryl Beckrich, and this is K17, Knit 17. Appreciate you watching today. You can find me at wiseowlknits.com. That's where all my patterns are. I'm also on Instagram at wiseowlknits with 2 S's, and on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook as Wise Owl Knits. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that via email at cheryl@wiseowlknits.com, or you can go to the Contact Us section of my website and send me a message there. Today I am wearing the Solomon Poncho, and it is not necessarily poncho weather, but it's not terrible. I'm going to just step up on this little bench so that you can see without falling off. It's not a wide bench, it's a sitting bench. It goes with our picnic table. So here's the swancho. The back is really just like the front. But I didn't have a big accident while I was doing that. But anyway, the Solomon Poncho is currently in testing, but it's almost done. And I have put the poncho, I've done lots of swanchos, and I want to say swancho, but it's a poncho. It is on pre-sale on my website, so if you go there from now until through Sunday the 10th of September 2023, it is available for a pre-sale 20% discount, and you don't need any coupon code or promo code or anything like that. Just go to the website and it is there at a 20% discount. I will change that on Monday the 11th, so as long as you get there by Sunday, you can get that discounted rate. And the pattern will be released on Monday, September 11th. At that time, if you purchased your pattern on the pre-sale, I will email that out to you. So hop on over there after the Fibercast is done. And because it's a little warm out today, I'm going to slip this off real quick. Surprised my hair didn't totally fall down while I was taking that out, but seems to be doing okay. This is going to be a shorter version of the Fibercast today. Just have a lot of stuff going on, both design-wise and in my private life. We have a family wedding next weekend, and we're just getting ready for that, and we're going to have a rehearsal dinner here on our deck with about 60 people, so half of which we know, half of which we don't know. So trying to get everything cleaned up and work on some decorations, and just getting everything ready for that. We're not cooking, we're getting it catered. We're having Cajun cuisine, so that's fun. But just kind of a busy family time in my life. So I'm sure I won't be doing a Fibercast next week, and maybe not the week after that. So there may be a bit of a break in there. But that'll give me some time to get some things done and get some more things to show you. So without further ado, we'll move on to the things that I've been working on, because I haven't finished anything yet. First thing is the sweater that I've been showing you. Last week, our last Fibercast, I asked for name suggestions and I got a lot of good ones. So one may just be the name that I choose. This one is almost done. I'm doing tubular bind-offs on all the edges on the hem and at the sleeve cuffs. So I've got one more sleeve to do, and then I've got some ends to work in. I've already blocked it once. I may block it again. But anyway, on to pattern writing on this, and then hopefully testing starting somewhere around the beginning of October. So if you're interested in test knitting, let me know and I'll add you to the list. When you go to my website and put in your email address, it asks you if you want to be a test knitter or not. So you can just say yes or no at that time. So got that going on. I'm also working on Christmas stockings, and I've got another one close to done. I'm down to the toe. I have the heel, which is an afterthought heel, and I used my stitch tubes to hold the stitches. I had waste yarn in there, but I slipped this in and took that out, so I'm ready to just pick up the stitches and do the heel once I get the toe done. I've got 2 more to do after that, so I would, once I get my design off the needles, my sweater, I'm gonna just work on the Christmas stockings so that I can get those done and don't have to worry about them, and I can concentrate on some other design work that I have coming up. The other thing that I have on the needles is this little earring holder. I can't take credit for this idea because I saw this cute little video on Instagram of someone who crocheted a square onto a chopstick, and just, I think she mostly did single crochet, but she did a little bit of double crochet at the bottom. But the top end was hooked to her chopstick, and she used her chopstick to hang it in on her wall. I'm going to use this big fat knitting needle that I only have one of. I think I might have used the other one for some other kind of decorative thing at one time or another, or it's just misplaced. But it's not a size that I ever use, and I think it's really cute, and the length is good. It's a shorter needle, so I'm going to use that to hang on my wall, and I'm working on an I-cord that I'll tie to each end and put a hook up and hang it, and I'm going to slip one of my earrings off here. The idea is you can just stick your dangly earrings in there and keep them from being in a big pile on your dresser. None of you do that, I'm sure. It's just me. I've got a cute little ceramic bowl that's got holes around the edges for earrings, and it's full. So here's another place for them. And sometimes I don't always put them back where I'm supposed to. That may happen this time too. So those are the things that I've been knitting on. This pattern I mean, it's really simple. It's 3 garter stitch ridges, then 2 rows of stockinette stitch, an eyelet row, 2 rows of stockinette stitch, 3 garter stitch ridges, and then repeat that. So that there are 5 of the eyelet rows there. Pretty simple, pretty mindless knitting. I did it last night. A lot of it while we went to a restaurant for dinner. So while I was waiting for our food to come and our order to be taken, I did some knitting. This is a place that we go a lot, so they know us, and they'd probably think it was weird if I wasn't knitting actually. So it's a good place to go and to knit, and you know, if you're going to be sitting there, you might as well be knitting. I've got one other thing that I'm working on, and that is a wedding gift for my son and daughter-in-law. It's the Swerve quilt, and I took it to my friend Amy, who's on the south side of Indianapolis. I'll stick her information in the show notes. She's on Instagram, though she doesn't have a website. But if you're in the Indianapolis area and you need somebody to do long arm quilting, she's just delightful, and she's got lots of different stitch patterns to choose from, and her prices are good. She's just really nice, and I always enjoy my little visits with her. So that is everything that I've been working on. I don't have any finished objects. I'm close on a couple, as you can see. I've just got to do the binding on the quilt and just finish up a little bit on the sweater. For the binding on the quilt, I've done it quite a few times, and in theory I know exactly how to do it, but I always need a little reminder, and I have a video that's from Missouri Star Quilters that I always watch right as I'm binding or right before I'm getting ready to do the binding, to just give myself that little refresher and confidence that I'm doing things the right way so that I don't have to tear them out. So I may do that tomorrow morning or Saturday morning early. I need to get that done because it's almost wedding time. Got a couple of acquisitions. The first of which is my monthly sock set from Carista at Sweet Mountain Crafts. And this one is called Paddleboard, the Paddleboard set. Lovely green and blue. Just really a pretty color, set of colors, and I really look forward to using that. I think that will be socks for me since those are my colors. Carista always sends a nice little story with her sock sets, and this one is about a couple of friends that are paddleboarding and their adventures, so those are always fun to read. If you sign up for her sock sets, you'll get those too. And she also sent along this handy tool, which is from Susan Bates. It's got a point on one end and a crochet hook on the other end. You can probably see that a little bit better. So the point you can use for turning collars, or if you sew a tube and you need to flip it the other way, that will help with that. And of course, we all use crochet hooks a lot with our knitting because we've got to pick up those drop stitches, or if we split a stitch, we might have to ladder down, or if we mess up a cable, we might have to ladder down. And a crochet hook with all your knitting stuff always comes in handy. I think you need one in all of your notions bags that you take along with you while you're knitting. Then the other thing that I got is some yarn from Skeinz. Put it this way so you can see the label. It's Kelly and Company, and it's their tweed, which I absolutely love. And they had a sale on it, and I got 10 skeins, which is enough to do a large sweater. And it's it'll be a cardigan or some kind of cape or wrap, and it will have cables, of course. I think I will just love it in these colors. I've got some other colors of Kelly & Co, but I don't have quite that much, so I'm looking forward to using this fairly soon, hopefully this winter. Okay. Really, I don't have a whole lot more. I've got some comments, and I'm gonna just pause this for a second and I'll go grab my comments sheet. I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. Barley greeted me at the door as I came back outside, and he is covered in burrs, and he doesn't do that very often, so he went somewhere in the backyard, and now I petted him right away, so they're on my hands. Hopefully I can brush those off of him really easily. I don't think they're too stuck, and they're smaller burrs than usual. We have some bigger ones that are more circular, and these are teeny, so I think they'll probably brush off pretty easily. That is the joy of living in kind of a wooded area. You never know what you're going to get. Okay, so here are my comments. Susan Smith said, "Hi Cheryl, a name popped into my head for your sweater. The straight and narrow. Just a possibility. All the lines remind me of pathways, or even just the name Pathways." Susan's one of my test knitters for the Solomon Poncho, and she said she had to put her poncho aside for a week because of lightning striking their air conditioning, and it took a full week to get a new motor back in. I know Susan lives in the southeastern part of the States, and so I'm sure it was pretty warm and humid and not a great time to be without air conditioning. She says they do have cool air again now, and she's happily knitting again, hoping to make lots of progress this week. And she has made lots of progress. I'm pretty sure she's almost done, if not done. I know she had the big rectangle with the little semicircle for the neck done, and she was blocking that last picture that I saw. So she's likely all the way done now, and we'll probably have a picture up on our test knit group soon. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Melanie from Revolution Yarns says, "Thanks so much for the shout out and speaking so kindly about my art. I can't wait to see what you make up with it." And I told her right now it's hanging on a hook in my yarn room so I can just look at it. It is truly gorgeous, and it will be some type of a colorwork sweater that I'm hoping to do as a spring sweater, so I can work on it this winter and publish that late winter or early spring next year. Sharon says, "Your new sweater pattern looks like fun. I can understand why you don't want to use the word binary in the title. Such a shame to have a good word so tainted. How about using the word duet? Maybe color duet." Okay, piano teacher here. Instead of having color A and color B for each section, you could call them primo and secondo. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but she said maybe that's going too far with the metaphor. By the way, you must be getting enough followers that YouTube is noticing. There were ads all through your video. Were you aware of this? I was not aware of that. I knew there was an ad right at the very beginning. I'm not big enough to be monetized, so I didn't think any other ads would show up, but apparently they were peppered throughout the video. So I did lots of clicking around and looking at other YouTube videos about how to eliminate ads, and I think I've done what I need to do, but please let me know if you see ads this time, because I know I find them really annoying, especially when they're for things that you don't care about or don't even like at all. So let me know if you see them there. I think it's gonna, this whole podcasting thing is definitely a learning experience, and we all learn as we go, and I'm sure it's a lot like Facebook and Instagram. As soon as you have it all figured out, they change it. So we'll always have to keep modifying things to get them to work the way that we would like them to work. Melina M says, "The new pattern design reminds me of matchsticks." And I kind of like matchsticks as a name. That could be a possibility. There have been lots of good suggestions. LR says, "Your sweater pattern reminds me of sound waves or radio frequencies. The colors pop and are unusual for your taste. That's for sure. What about fancy frequency or something like that? Another good possibility." Mystery Mouse Holly says, "Hi Cheryl, thanks for showing my yarn. Last time I showed her Brown Bear mini set, which is gorgeous, really colorful set of minis that I will do something with I don't know what yet, but they're too pretty not to use. She says, I really like your new sweater design. I think it would be fun to make. I hope you land on a name you like. Some of your other comments have had some good ideas. I agree with that. Selfish Knitter, Colleen says, I love the new design, especially the bright colors. I feel the same way about stretching my comfort zone with some brights. So I responded, so glad to hear that. We can be bright together. Nice to have a buddy. Shelley Williams says, new pattern name, Domino Effects. That's another good one. If you desire to do so, you could have a naming winner as a guest on your podcast. I, for one, would love to sit and chat with a fellow patriot and Catholic. That's a good idea, and it's an interesting idea. It takes a little more coordination. When I was thinking about how to do a podcast, I thought it would be better to do it with someone else, but my schedule is just so back and forth, and I like the fact that if I've got some time, I can just go record right then, and if you've got another person there, you've got to coordinate that. So it may be something that I do to have guests every once in a while in the future. I'd really like to do that. I just am a little daunted by all the logistics of it. So, good idea though. I appreciate that. Pandemic Knitter, Beth says, I don't know what's going on the street next to us, but it's loud. Beautiful shawl, beautiful background, and beautiful dog. With lots of burrs on him right now. Thanks for another great episode, Cheryl. Maureen M. says, hello, Cheryl. Always a pleasure to visit with you on your podcast. I love that shawl. Well done. Your new sweater is beautiful as well. I'm sure you'll come up with a name for it very soon. Also, the book sounds like good advice for all of us. I read The Loop each day and saw something about that book. Thanks for sharing. I didn't know that you could read The Loop. I thought it was a YouTube video or an audio podcast. But since getting Maureen's comment, I went on their website, and you can put your email in, and then they send you a link every morning that goes over a quick 5 or 6 paragraphs of different things going on that you can just peruse quickly. So I likely will do that too, because I think that happens every day, where the podcast is just maybe once or twice a week. So always good to know. Janet says, hello from Mounds, Illinois. Love your shawl. It's a beautiful sweater, and you're an awesome designer. Congratulations on your winning designs. Janet is always so nice. And Kara commented, I had talked about wearing a dress because it was so hot out, and she says she wears dresses constantly because the waistbands cause discomfort on my spine. Love the new sweater. Pink and bright is my favorite, even though I'm older. I'm kind of liking them too, and I think there's a thing where as women get older, they start wearing brighter colors. Isn't that like the Red Hat Society kind of a thing? They wear red hats and purple. It's kind of fun. I always like that. Elizabeth DeYoung says, one of our dogs thinks it's always time to eat. And she put a smiley face. Barley's always trying to get an extra meal in there somehow. Well, I don't have any other topic to relay to you this week. Just if you could all pray for no rain on September 15th or 16th in Indianapolis, I would appreciate it. And maybe about 70 to 75 degrees. I don't want to ask for too much, but if we could have cool weather, sunshine, it would be lovely. thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or Rumble. Like, leave a comment. I love reading your comments. It's so nice to stay connected to all of you and to make new friends. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.